Hey there! So today I'm going to make a card using the Make Lemonade stamp set. And inside and out, we're going to use the Happy Birthday one right here. We're also going to use this really super duper die set. It's a pretty cool set. So here we go. I'm going to take this light pink, which is also called bubblegum. And here is the lemon wedge, or in this case it's going to be a grapefruit wedge. And so I'm taking the clear ink and I'm just going to stamp randomly all over this. So I'm going to push down, let it set for a little bit, and lift up. Make sure I get plenty of ink on there, and just let it go. I know it's hard to see right now, but it'll get dark in a minute. Just kind of randomly, just stamp here and there. With ink, what you want to do is actually push down and then just release a little bit and let the paper actually absorb the ink. So many times we ink so quickly and we don't give it a chance for the ink to actually get onto the paper, and then you're like going, I don't have a good impression. Well, give it some time. Push down and let go. So just randomly put a little bit of pressure and let go. See, I'm just randomly just putting it on here. Let go. We're gonna do, let's see. We got this up and down this way. Hope you can see these on here. Once this clear dries, then you can actually see them. Put a little pressure. Just let it sit there for a minute. And we're gonna put it over here. There you go. Do you see that? Let's go ahead and do this one like this. On the corner. And then over here, push down, relax it. Okay. There we go. You see that? That would be pretty. Hope you can see that with the. So I'm just going to let that dry for a minute. So I'm just going to take just a little squirt. As you can see, this paper towel, I've used it all over the place. So I'm just going to just wipe and clean off any ink that I may have on there. Okay, so let's just cover that up. So put that aside. And then also I have already stamped that same one, and I've embossed it. I stamped it with the black licorice, and then I used the actual clear embossing powder. So I already did that, so you wouldn't have to sit there and watch me do it. And now I'm going to color the inside. So I'm going to show you how I did that. I took the watermelon fusion color and just put some inside my Misty. As you can see, I just got some ink there. And then I took the cleaner. This Fun Stampers Journey cleaner is totally awesome. Just a small squirt there. And then I just took my paintbrush here. So I got my paintbrush. And these are actually, you know, water brushes, but I don't put water in them. I just like to use them with this ink. The ink from Fun Stampers Journey is a kind of a pigment and a water base. So it needs something to help it move around, so you don't use water with them. So I do have other paint brushes that actually keep water in there, because we do also have some other mediums that are water based, but our inks are not. So I really like these inks because you can use them on so many different things. You can stamp on wood, you can stamp on fabric. You don't have to buy different inks to do different things. See how they just color right there. Okay, so now I'm just going to clean that off. You just squeeze and pull away because it's got cleaner, so it just cleans it right off. Now I'm just going to clean inside my Misty here. Voila, it's nice and clean. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use the Summer Days, and this is a grapefruit. So I've got another. Let me see. I'm going to use this one here instead. So another, it's just a barely little bitty squirt. That's what I'm doing. The Summer Days is just a little bit of darker yellow, so I'm going to do that one right here for the rind. So just going to go like that, color in. Also, whenever you do a heat embossing, it kind of helps you stay within the lines. But even though, you know, this is handmade and it's okay if you get outside the lines. It's all right. So there we go. See, got that all nice and pretty. Once again, just clean off. See, I just need that little bitty bit, and so I did put more than I needed on there. Now I'm going to use a lemon drop, which is really just pretty yellow. So I just put a little bit of ink there from the ink pad, squirt a little bit. I'm using the same paintbrush, just picking up the yellow there. Now I want to make sure it's a lighter yellow, so I don't want that Summer Days on there. So I'm just kind of working on that edge there just so I can make sure I get this lighter yellow. Just wanted to get a little bit more color. So, and then this is going to be to color the inside here. Just making sure it's a little bit lighter yellow. Just grabbing some more of the cleaner there. The cleaner just helps it move. So the pigment ink does not move. You know, as you all know, water-based inks do. Or if you didn't know, now you do know. But this needs something more to help it move around. So now it's moving there. So there you go. A little more color. Okay, as you can see, when it dries, it's a bit lighter. So I'm just going to do this, clean it off, and there you go. See, nice and clean. So I try to use different brushes for different colors, kind of a base colors, even though they get pretty clean. So we're going to let that dry for just a minute. I'm going to clean out the inside of my Misty here. This is the small Misty. I do like this one when I'm just working on cards here. So now I'm going to take my circle here, which I cut out with that die set. I'm going to put my magnet down. These magnets are really hard, so what I do is just slide it off to the edge here, then you can pick it up. Put that down. I'm going to put my happy birthday on here. So, yes, I need to make a birthday card for a friend. Push that down, pick it up, and I'm using the black licorice color. So the black, most of my sentiments, I use black, so I really don't worry a lot about cleaning them up really well because I'm just going to put black on it again. So I'm going to do a little bit more, stamp a little bit. I love using the Misty because no matter how many times you go up and down, back and forth, it's always going to stamp in the exact same place. As you know, I push down, leave it there for a minute, then pick it back up. Oh, beautiful now. Now I love how that looks. So I'll just take my paper towel here and just clean it off a little bit there. Okay, so I got all that done. Got that. So I cut this out first at the center here, and then I embossed this. So that way I didn't have to waste this. As you can see, I'm going to put this over that, and therefore you don't even see that hole that's there. Isn't that awesome? I know, kind of sneaky, isn't it? So what we're going to do is going to place this on here. So I'm, color up my black. These ink pads, you could leave it open all day long, all night long. They won't dry out, but more likely I would stick my hand in there. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here. This glue is really awesome, but you want to be careful you don't put too much glue because when you get paper wet, as you know, it buckles up. So it's just a little bit of glue. Flip it over. I'm going to work it here. So I like using glue because you see I just placed it down there. I can kind of move it around a little bit. So I think it's good there. Just put a little bit of pressure. Just push down. Just give it a little bit of pressure there. So now I'm going to put this next layer on top of that. So just give a little bit of glue. Just go around like that. See, just a little bit of glue there. And now I'm going to place this down on top of that. See, I'm just covering up the hole right there. Don't even know that was there, did you? Now here's another piece of scrap, and I'm going to put this right across there. I think that's just going to get some nice color to it. So whenever you're working with different papers and you have different projects you're doing, don't throw away your scraps. Look at that. You would never know. You could have used that right there. Isn't that just adorable? Now I would do this happy birthday. I'm going to put on top of that, but I would like to add some more color to it. So since I'm working with the watermelon fusion here, I'm going to go ahead and get a sponge, and I'm going to ink this up. So I'm going to add a little bit color to these sides there. So I'm holding this just about perpendicular to the paper. Now when you're adding color to your paper, you want to make sure you never put your ink pad directly to your paper because you can cut up your ink pad. So you want to use a sponge. And when you're working with color like this, you can always add more color. See, I'm just straight perpendicular to it. I'm just kind of tapping it, scraping a little bit. You can do a little scraping noise. So I went all the way around. So now I want to add a little bit more color. So now I'm angling more onto the front of the paper into giving it a little bit more color there. See? See how it's getting just a little bit more color towards the center. So I'm just adding a little bit more color. You can always add more, remember, but just can't take it away once you get it on there. So there you go, just a little bit more there. How's that? I think that looks just a little bit more there. Beautiful now, beautiful. So put that down. Let's go ahead and cover up our watermelon. Just gonna let that dry for just a minute. So now we're gonna go to this here. And what we're gonna do is cut these out. I do have a Brother Scan and Cut DX, and I do use it a lot, but when I just have a few items to cut, I will go ahead and do it by hand, especially if they're really simple like this one is. Now, if I was doing a whole lot of cards, if I was getting this ready for a class, you better believe it, I would have that Scan and Cut up and running and cut these all out, but just for a couple of them. Now, if you see what I did, when I was doing it, I kind of dropped that and I didn't place it right, so that's why I just kind of moved over and went to the next spot there. And of course, as you can imagine, this piece of paper was a scrap from someplace else. So once again, don't toss your scraps. You can always find a reason to use a small piece of something. So I'm just cutting this around here. The second one here. So now I'm going to do my last one. I'm just going to cut that straight across. And now I'm going to turn this. So you can see that I usually keep my scissors going in one direction, and what I do is really I'm moving the paper with my left hand, but my right hand with the scissors is still going just pretty much in the same direction. Okay, so now we got all that done. So now, have that little chance to dry, so we're going to add a little bit of glue to this, and we're going to put that down. So it's again, see, there you go. Put a little bit more pressure and let that dry. So now we have all this here. So now what we're going to do, we're going to add some foam squares in the back of it. And I feel these foam squares are really pretty big, so I'm just going to cut that in half and just use less. There we go. Put one there. They're super sticky, as you can see. It's about sticking to my finger there. So you want to... These scissors are wonderful because not very much actually sticks to these scissors. And I'm going to put one in the center. There we go. So I'm not sure where I'm going to put this yet, so I'm not going to peel that off just yet. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut some more here, and I'm going to put them behind these. Now, when I first started doing cards, I didn't think it really made a difference using these little foam squares, but it really does make a difference in your project. So I do encourage you to get some of these. You find them all over the place here. These are Fun Stamper Journey, which is also by Spellbinders. I really appreciate their products. I think they're good quality. There you go. I'll just grab another one. Cut that one in half also. Get that one. And stick this over here. There we go. I tell you, see how sticky those are? They really, really stick. So let's see. We're going to place these different places on this. There we go. How's it coming along? You think it's looking pretty good? That looks pretty good. I think it just needs a little bit more. So we're going to add, how about some green thread? You know what? Maybe make a bow out of this. There's several different bow makers out there, and I've been looking at a lot of them, but I just thought, hey, I found a video how to do this with my own fingers. So I thought, well, let's just try this. And it's taken, I have practiced. I've made a lot of bows, and I've been frustrated many times until I finally got it down, but I will have to find the video that I've learned how to do this in. I'm not too sure, but I will search for it for you guys. There we go. See, I got some green there and that there. Oh my gosh, I like the way that looks. What do you think? Yes. Okay, so now, what I want to do first, though, I want to add some Journey glaze. So this is really wonderful stuff. So what I'm going to do is I want to glaze the back first. So I'm going to go ahead and do that first. So that way, it's easier to do it like this instead of trying to work around your different items there. Believe me, I've done this plenty of times, and I've realized that adding this little bit of glaze to your background really does make a difference. It just stands out, pops, and this is just a little bit. There we go. So now, we're going to take these off, and we're going to place this back where we had it. So here we go, happy birthday. Put it right there. There we go. And then also I'm going to put this little guy. The Journey Glaze also kind of acts a little bit like a glue, but I'm using it mainly because I want to have just that little bit of pop there. We'll put that right there. So now I have an idea of where we're going to put those. Take those off. And we're going to go ahead and glaze these down here too. Just that little bit of glaze there. I think it just really adds just that little bit. Just gives it some extra. I'll show you in just a minute when I pick it up and just angle it different ways, and the person who receives your card will just like, oh my gosh, they'll just be so amazed. There we go. Just that little bit there. And so now we're going to put our grapefruits back on here. So let's see. Yeah. Oh, let's put that one that way. And this one over here. Take that off. Take that off. And we're going to put it maybe. Oh, well. Gotta be careful when things go down. Oof, I got lucky there. Let's see. That one's going that way. I think I'm going to put this one going that way. There we go. And then we're going to put our bow here. So let's just... This glue dries clear. So I put a pretty good blob of that on there. Push that down. There we go. So now we're going to add a little bit more glaze to the happy birthday here. So this H. It just gives a little, again, just a little bit more dimension to it. There we go. And then just a little bit more dimension. Just going to add some glaze there to our pink section of the grapefruit. And that just kind of helps it just shimmer a little bit more. Since you already have the shimmer here from the embossing powder, if I just add a little more shimmer to the pink there, it just help it stand out a little bit. I'm not going to add any more shimmer to the other part of the grapefruit since it already has, it's so thin. Okay, so now I feel like I need a little bit more something, so I'm going to probably add some little sequins. So I'm going to put a little sequin there, maybe put one there. Let's stick one on the birthday. You know, I think that might be okay. And then this is the sequins I made. It's called Blue Skies, but if you look closely, there's some green ones in there. So I'm going to take my scissors here. This is a neat trick I learned. I don't know how I learned it when I learned it, but I did. So put a little bit of glue on there. Look at that. It sticks to it. And then you can put it down like that. And there you go. So put a little bit of glue on your scissors. And then I'm going to grab this sequin. And I'm going to put it down right there. Look at that. Isn't that just amazing? And then here's a little sequin there. Take that one and put it there. There you go. And then see, just wipe that glue right off. Doesn't stick. Isn't that just amazing? I tell you, those are just great. And there's our card. What do you think? Look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? Several scraps there with that card. Well, please subscribe to my channel and say you like this card and leave me a comment. Have a great day.